And I always, that's the reason why he has his job, because you look at me and he was my coach and I became a great player and taught him everything he knows so he can prevail him to greatness. So it's been fun. It's funny because he called Coach Kevin Wilson and asked, about me, and Coach Wilson called me up right away and said, like, why is he calling me? Don't you? And I said, yeah, well, I mean, we're friends and all that, but I haven't worked with him since 2000, I think it was 2001, 2002. Okay. So that's been a long time, and I was a GA at the time, so he's never really seen me on the field and my guys play at Indiana, but not necessarily worked with them. So, but it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, so it's been good.
So was it something where you guys were in touch a lot over the years, or just kind of reconnection?
Yeah, no, we always stayed in touch and always talked, and part of it came about, obviously there's an opening on staff, and part of me at this point of the season, after recruiting and things like that, you're always trying to do professional development. So, where can I go and kind of hone my craft a little bit? Did I talk NFL, talk scheme, talk fundamentals, and there was some technique stuff I wanted to get done, and it all came back to, well, let me ask Coach Ash, And so when the opportunity came, it was like, hey, that's the guy I want to go do professional development, learn my craft. If I could work with him every day, that is my professional development. So it was good.
What's the transition been like coming here and even to New Jersey?
It's been good. I've really enjoyed New Jersey. My family's not here yet, so that makes it easy, I guess, because I just have laser focus and stuff like that. But the kids have been great. The staff is unbelievable, and I know how to get to the hotel and here, and that's about it. So New Jersey's been great to me.
How about the safeties? I mean, early on, what have you seen out of your guys back there? Who's really, caught your eye?
Yeah, as you guys probably know better than I do, there's not a lot of depth. There's been a lot of turnover in that room. So that makes it challenging, and it makes it challenging in the sense that KJ Gray and Saquon Hampton have played some football and understand the game a little bit and how you play, how you prepare. Because that's the big thing, is how do I prepare to be successful for a practice or to be successful for a game or scrimmage situation. And those young guys, they just haven't had to do that before. So for them, it's I show up, I sit in my meeting, then I go practice. I show up, I sit in the meeting, I go practice. Well, if that's all you're doing, it's very challenging to get ahead because we only have 20 hours a week with you. So it's very challenging to be successful. So that's been the biggest issue, is to teach those guys how to prepare. And then also, as you get going in a practice or something like that, there's certain situations where you don't cover it or you don't walk through it because you can't walk through everything, and you have to rely on some of your experiences to, okay, I know I need to do this check, or I should play it like this, and we're just growing through those processes right now.
How closely did you follow Rutgers when you were at Indiana? Obviously you're playing against them, but did you keep really track what Coach Ash was trying to do here the first couple of years?
I did. There is no doubt I did. I watched everything. So, one of the beauty about the Big Ten Conference, I'm sure a lot of conferences, is on Sunday. On Sunday, they upload all the videos. So every game that was played that Saturday is on the system. So I would make sure that every Sunday I would watch Rutgers. I'd watch a couple teams, try and get some defensive ideas. But I always wanted to follow Coach Ash and kind of where he was going, because I knew what his vision was, knew what his plan was, and to see if it was coming to fruition.
Having watched all that, what were your thoughts on how last year went in the progression so far?
I was impressed. When you look at the season and compared Indiana and Rutgers, take our game, that game out of it, because I don't know if you guys were there. There was a combination of things, but they played Purdue early in the year, and we were at Michigan State, and we sat in the coach's locker room and actually watched the end of that game. And Purdue was a big rival, is a big rival of Indiana, so we were always, and to see how physical, I thought Rutgers was very, very physical and really controlled the line of scrimmage and did some great things against Purdue. And then we played Maryland, and Maryland got after Indiana pretty good now. Scored, I don't know if they scored 40 points, something like that. And then Rutgers played them a week or 2 weeks afterwards, so I talked to Coach Ash and some of the coaches about it, and to see, again, Rutgers got after them pretty good. So I've always followed what was going on to prepare our defense to play, or Indiana's defense to play Rutgers, but also I wanted to see the progress Coach Ash And you know, I've got a history with Coach Neiman. Coach Neiman was my first defensive coordinator as well, so I've always stayed in touch and followed his career.
What do you mentioned the lack of depth. I mean, how many of those cornerbacks are you cross-training in safety, and how do you feel like choosing who's going to do that and who is going to be working?
Well, you know, we moved Kobe Marfall over, so to get him some reps to help us out. And really, I don't know the guys on the roster. I don't know that those guys, because, you know, you look at the situation, we've got a pretty good stable of corners there. A couple of them mentally can handle it, no problem. And we're not making that move till we feel like we need to. Now, where it will come into play a little bit more is some of the DBs coming in. So when you look at some of those corners we've signed, there's depth in the corner room, and there's some size with those incoming guys. That those guys are probably more some of the guys that could cross-train and go over. And in this league, you know, guys play as true freshmen all the time. It's difficult to do, but they do it all the time. I know at Indiana we had to do that at times as well, and that's one of the things, you know, I kind of take pride in. My first, I guess my second and third year there, we had a freshman All-American safety. My second year there, my third year there, we had a freshman All-American safety. So we can develop those guys and get them ready to play.
And Malik Dixon's with the Sam?
Yeah, he's a Sam backer. You know, he's a long, athletic kid and gives us a lot of flexibility. In this league, as you know, and in today's college football world, it's all a lot of 11 personnel spread you out, having to play in space.
Two more questions.
You mentioned kids that are coming in here as true freshmen. I guess Christian and Dion for safety. What do you like about those kids?
But I think they're physical kids. They're physical kids, and I don't know them well, just getting to know them. I think Dion has some length and can be physical. When you look at Christian and talk to Christian, he's not real tall in stature, but he's put together. He'll strike you. And what he is, he's kind of that alpha male guy. You know, like talking through different schemes and techniques and different stuff. And those guys can be successful because they'll work at it.
What's kind of your philosophy on the recruiting front, and you know, your approach to that aspect of the job?
Yeah, we need. So what we're looking for DB-wise, okay, in today's college football world is you've got to be able to play in space and tackle in space. You know what that means? I've got to be able to move lateral. I've got to be able to play man-to-man coverage, and I've got to be able to play the deep ball. You look at Penn State, some of these teams, there's a lot of 50-50 balls out there, so I have to have good ball skills to go up and play those. But more importantly to that is to meet the kid, all right? What is that kid like? They better have competitive excellence. You want to be great. So if you're a low academic kid, you don't have great competitive excellence, because if I'm a low academic kid and I have competitive excellence, I'm going to work hard in the classroom because I have pride. I don't want to get, if you and I are taking an algebra class, I'm not going to let you get a better grade. If it means I got to study all the time and get tutors and have my girlfriend help me out, that's what I'm going to do to make sure I get a better grade than you. So we're looking for that, and we're looking for great kids that have a passion for the game. If you have a passion and a conviction for what you do, it makes up for a lot of talent. So those are kind of the things we're looking for, if that makes sense.